Hey y'all, and welcome back to the No Rules Just Fives podcast. I'm your host, Maya and Jill, and thank you guys so much for tuning in to another week of the show. I am here solo today, so that means we're still gonna have a lot of fun. But this week was crazy, y'all. This past week was extremely crazy for me. For some reason, I just felt overwhelmed. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why this week specifically, because I felt like I haven't changed anything in my schedule. Recently, but I just really felt like just the weight of everything this week. And it just so happened that both of my best friends reached out to me and they were just like, how are you doing it all? How are you, working with your business, manifesting, journaling, doing your devotion? They know I'm doing 21 days of prayer and fasting and, trying to work out. They were just like, how are you doing it all? And it just so happened that neither one of them know that they asked me this week. They'll figure it out when they watch or listen to the show. So I was like, okay, God, that's what I got to talk about this week. Like, scratch whatever I had planned. That's what I got to talk about this week because I can't be the only one that's just kind of feeling overwhelmed. And so I just want to go through, what this week has been like for me, what I felt like, what it feels like to be overwhelmed. What happens when you become overwhelmed, or just like ways, what things that you have done or things that can make you feel overwhelmed, and then just some things that you can do to be intentional about combating it, because now I'm doing well and I'm feeling good and I'm ready to go, but I had to do some things to switch it up and to make sure, I don't drown in this. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Look at me, I'm getting tongue tied. Um, but yeah, so this week, like I said, I just was not feeling it this week, and I had to really really push through, but. I noticed that I was feeling like I was about to start drowning. So I wasn't really feeling like I was drowning yet, but it was more so like, okay, if I keep going like this, I'm not gonna make it. Like, nothing's gonna get done. I'm not feeling like doing anything. I'm tired, and y'all know I had already said that I got to stay committed and consistent, whether I feel like it or not. But I had to kind of reel it back in this week. So I don't know what it was. It was just like I had so many things going on this week, and that I just was overthinking everything. I had a lot to do at work, being an attorney and just trying to plan things and making sure this gets done, this gets organized. I'm still trying to learn different things. It was just an overload. So when I say I felt like I was almost about to drown, if you know how to swim, you have to tread water to stay afloat. Y'all, this week I felt like I was treading water and I was getting it. I was staying afloat. But it was almost like, okay, I'm just finna stop treading. Like, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just finna stop tread or either just get out the water completely. That's how I felt this week. And so it's like I was almost about to, I don't want to say go under, because I don't need y'all like calling me like, girl, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. But it was just like I was just tired. I was overwhelmed. And for me, when I get overwhelmed, and I think a lot of you probably can relate, it's like you have so much going on and so many things to do that you don't do anything at all. That's what I do. I just shut down and nothing gets done. And it's like you're paralyzed or you're stagnant, and I got stuff to do. I told y'all, like, this is the year that I take it from 6 figures to 7. I am committed to doing that. So I don't have time to be feeling overwhelmed. And for me, I can be overwhelmed whether I'm doing a lot of things or not. I get overwhelmed just by overthinking things. So if I'm thinking about everything that I got to do, I can become overwhelmed. So it's not really even I got to do X, Y, Z. I'm doing this. I'm doing these things. I don't have enough time to do X, Y, and Z. I haven't even started doing anything yet. I'm just thinking about everything I got to do, and I get overwhelmed. And then it's just like, okay, I'm going to go lay down. I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm not going to do anything. And that's kind of where I was this week. And I pushed through. And I had to talk myself out of it and say, no, calm down, take a step back, and plan. Let's plan this. So I just kind of wanted to talk about how I probably got to that point, because like I said, y'all, I didn't know. I was like, where is this coming from? Like I'm supposed to be energized due to it being a new year. I'm committed, consistent. I'm killing it. I came out the gate swinging in 2021, y'all. Like, period. And so I was just like, why am I feeling like this? So I had to take a step back, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Or just what causes us all to feel overwhelmed? And y'all, it's some of everything. It's not even just us doing too much. It's procrastinating, waiting to the last minute. So that's something that we've talked about in the past, but I never really talked about how that affects how your mental or your ability to get other things done. It's like you just feel the weight of everything because you waited to the last minute and now everything is due. So procrastination can cause you to feel overwhelmed. Laziness, same thing. You supposed to been did a lot of stuff that you said you was gonna do. We're in the third week of January, and a lot of us had some New Year's resolutions. Have you started doing those things yet? Some of y'all got some birthdays or something coming up. I know my birthday is in June, and I know I got a weight goal that I'm trying to reach so I can be on somebody's beach in a bikini somewhere. Hopefully coronavirus has settled down, and people have gotten vaccines, things like that, so I can I want to be able to travel this year, but I know that I got like less than 6 months to get it together. So I can't be lazy. I gotta work out, I gotta eat right. And I know a lot of the times, if y'all hadn't done whatever y'all need to do and I hadn't done what I needed to do, then it's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? Or how am I going to get this done? And sometimes just being lazy can have you being overwhelmed. And so we got to get up. We got to get up and do what we know we got to do. Something else I realized, y'all, I be overcommitting, and I got to stop doing that. A lot of us feel like we superwoman and superman, and we say yes to everything, every time, to everybody, and we got to stop. That's not healthy. And I'm not saying that you can't do things sometimes, but you stop overcommitting. You have to stop overcommitting, and you have to stop overextending yourself. Those go hand in hand. You can't say yes all the time. You have to say no sometimes. And don't get me wrong, you don't say no all the time, because you need people, and what you don't want to do is every time, you're always saying no, and then when it's time for you to need help, everybody's like, because when I called you, you was like, no, so I'm not gonna help you. So you don't want to ever put yourself in that kind of position, but you don't want to overcommit and don't want to overextend yourself. And I have a bad habit of doing that. I'll have something on my schedule, and it's like, okay, I got this planned at Saturday at 11 o'clock. And then someone can call me and say, hey, I need you to come speak at noon on Saturday. Instead of me saying, hey, I got something already scheduled an hour before, and so either I do it a little bit later, or is there any way that I can push that time back some, just to give me enough time to get there, and so that I'm not rushing, or either just say, hey, I have a scheduling conflict. Me in my head, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, and then at the end of the day, if I can't make it work, now I have this unnecessary pressure on myself. And it's like, girl, you could have just told them you couldn't do it this time. And to keep you at the front of their mind when another opportunity arises. You have to be vocal about what you have to do. And, how can whatever they're asking you to do fit into your schedule? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what you have to do. You can't stop overbooking. Hairstylists, y'all do it all the time. I'm gonna get on y'all. Y'all be around here overbooking people, got a booking system, and people can make appointments. All you have to do is scratch some time off, and and clients be coming late too, so I can't blame it all on y'all. But you overbook yourself, and then now you got people waiting back to back to back, and you hadn't even taken a lunch, and now you're feeling overwhelmed because you overbooked. Y'all gotta stop overcommitting and stop overextending yourself. People are going to call you. People are going to ask you to do things for them, and you have to know, okay, I got all of this already going on. I got to say no to this. I can't add anything else to my plate. I'm full. I am full. And I have to fuss at my mom sometimes, because she will recommend me for for anything and commit on my behalf without me even knowing, and then tell me after the fact. And I have to tell her, don't do that. No. Like I got all of this stuff going on, and now I gotta figure out how I can add this into an already filled schedule when, it's like, no, I can't do it. And so you just have to be careful about that, because sometimes, becoming overwhelmed may not necessarily even have anything with what you got going on or what you're doing. It's other people got you feeling overwhelmed. And you got to say no. Sometimes. Say no sometimes. I think, so, you just have to be careful. You have to find balance. Don't be the person that always says no, because I do know people like that. They OD on the I'm not overcommitting, I'm not overextending myself, or I'm not inconveniencing myself for anybody. And what ends up happening is you forget that someday you're going to need somebody to inconvenience themselves for you. You never know what that's going to look like. And I have to be careful with that, because I'm super, I got this. I'm in control. I can handle it. I don't really need anybody to do these things. And sometimes I do. So I have to be very, very careful to say, even though I really don't feel like doing this, because sometimes I don't even be overbooked, I just don't feel like doing it. I have to say, no, let me go ahead and do this. And, not to say that person's going to owe me later, but I just don't want to ever be in a position to need something I can't call nobody. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I'm just saying that find balance, and don't overcommit, don't overextend yourself. And I guess this kind of also goes hand in hand with this, that I feel like this can also cause you to feel overwhelmed. Stop being overly accessible. Y'all know me. I do not play about accessibility. Everybody cannot access me. Period. And I've had the same phone number since high school, and everybody still cannot access me. I just, you can DM me. I don't care. Sometimes I won't respond. Sometimes I will respond. I just recently, shout out to my friend Janika. She helped me this week. I used to keep my phone on do not disturb, and then I let anxiety get the best of me. And I'm just like, oh my God, if I'm asleep or something and somebody calls me with an emergency in the middle of the night, I'm going to miss it. And then I'm not going to be able to live with myself. And she helped me. She was like, girl, no, like, add the people that matter to your favorites. And, just let that be that. If something happens, those are the people that are going to call you, and, you're not going to want to miss their call. So that's what I did. And so now I have my phone on do not disturb some days, and, especially at nights where it's only a certain amount of people that can even get in touch with me, because I need that time to myself. So everybody should not be able to access you. And you have to be careful about that, because you could be having a great day, and then you always have this one person that's drama, just always having a crisis, just always something going on, just something negative all the time. And then you realize that, okay, every time I talk to this person, I end up feeling worse than I did when, before I talked to that person. And now your whole mood has changed just from having one conversation with this person. And it's like, no, maybe you need to limit, your access to that person. And I'm not necessarily saying cut them off, but maybe you need to limit the amount of times that you talk to them. Maybe you may not need to talk to them first thing in the morning. Maybe that's what it is, especially if they ruin your whole day. Maybe we don't need to start our mornings off like that. And people, you have to be careful, because people will take advantage of you. And that's an easy way to, when we're talking about being overly accessible, that's an easy way to become overwhelmed, is just not realizing that you're being taken advantage of. And I know a lot of my nice people, they struggle with this, because they're always saying yes. They're always the go-to person. I know my friends, and I don't do this to them, but they have other friends, and I watch, their friends always call them and always asking for something. It's never just, girl, let's talk, let's kiki, or let me talk to my homeboy, let's check in on him. It's always, can you do X, Y, Z for me? Or I need you to X, Y, Z. And it's like, that's fine, But you have to be very, very careful about that, because people will take advantage of you, especially when you're nice. When they know that they can depend on you, they will take advantage of you. And before you realize it, you'll be like, okay, why am I feeling the pressure of all of this? Or why am I feeling overwhelmed? And it's not even your issue. It's not even your problem. So you have to limit, your accessibility, limit what you're going to be willing to do, limit, who can call you anytime or at all times, or just limit, because I'm an attorney, and literally I get, and I have to remind myself that a lot of people don't really know an attorney, or just don't think about an attorney until they need one. So a lot of people don't really have, just a list of attorneys that they can go to when they need something. So people will call me, whether I practice that type of law or not, and they'll just call me asking like, hey, I need legal help. I need this, I need that. And I don't mind it. Don't get me wrong. But, in their head, they're the only person calling me. But I'm sitting over here and it's like, okay, I got 30 people asking me, can I help them, or either can I recommend somebody? And I don't mind, y'all. I promise, I don't mind. However, I think sometimes, people forget, like, this girl really have a whole job. And shout out to the people that say, hey, when you get a chance, I love the when you get a chance people, because then it tells me that you know that I have a lot going on and that you're considerate of my time. And so you're not asking me to drop literally everything that I'm doing to help you. And so I don't really have a problem with that. But I do think sometimes people forget that you have a life, you have problems, you have issues, you have, things that you're trying to do. So sometimes you just may not have the margin to help them. And, it puts you in this position, and you're just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? Because sometimes you just don't want to say no. I get that. Again, shout out to my super nice people. Sometimes it actually takes more energy and a toll on you to say no. Like you feel sad, or just, ruined after you say no, because you feel mean, and you don't like feeling mean. So you like being able to help people. I get that. But I think you still have to be intentional about your feelings, your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, what you can and what you cannot do, what you have the time to do. You have to balance that. That's all I'm saying. You have to balance it. I've branded myself in a way to now when people need something, they'll text me instead of calling me, because now I got to sit on the phone with you, and it's like that's a quick text. That saves me and you some time. And so I think people forget that, and I deal with it more so from family members, because it's like they don't care what legal issue it is. They just know I'm the attorney. So it's like, okay, so-and-so is having this issue. We need you to represent them in court. And I'm like, sweetie, that's not what I do. But let me recommend somebody for you. It's like, I need you to draft a will. I need you to do this. And it's like, y'all do realize, well, no, they actually don't realize that I'm drowning at work. Like just in and of itself. I got all of that to do. I'm trying to do voila, the podcast. And so I don't just come in here and just, do this off the top of my head. This means planning. This means, scheduling out topics for you guys, outlining those topics, making sure that I have the range to speak on certain things, and to do it in such a way that I'm not being offensive, because I'm very big on trying not to offend people, because I think it's hard for you to receive information when you're offended. So I'm very careful and intentional about who I allow to come on the show, the topics that I talk about, the things that I touch on when I'm talking about certain topics. And I try to keep a lot of it personal, to talk about my personal experiences, and when I have my guests on and I have them talk about their personal experiences, and to drop wisdom and knowledge, because I don't want you guys to listen to the podcast and then you leave like, I didn't get anything from that, or either yeah, nah, she was tripping. I don't really like her. I don't really rock with what she said, or that was insulting, or yeah, her only goal was to humiliate us or embarrass us, or she hates men. Those things I really don't want to that's not who I am. It's just not. So I am a relatable person. I would like to think I'm cool, and everybody know this is my personality. Like, this is how I talk on the phone. These are the things that I talk about with my friends, my parents. So I just opened and created a platform for me to share these experiences with y'all. But I don't want to, just get up one day and if I'm upset, I come on here and just vent. No, that's not wise. So I have to take time out and plan, and and create, and I'm creating content for the Instagram page. I'm producing, I'm doing everything by myself, like, because I'm a control freak. So and we're gonna get into that a little bit later too, but I have to be careful, you know, when I'm taking on things, because people don't realize that I have literally a lot going on. And like I told y'all, I'm going from six figures to 7. I'm telling y'all, that's, so I can't be allowing people to come in here and throw me off. And then I'm overcommitted, or I just, I have become accessible to things that I shouldn't have given access to. And now I'm tired because I did everything for y'all, and I can't even do the stuff that I need to do for me. You can't do that. You can't do that. You have to prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself. And so, I guess one more thing before I just talk about some things that we can do, or just some things that I did this week to kind of help me like really back in and get my life back together. I think you have to be careful with being overwhelmed too. And just like the things that we talked about, overcommitting, procrastination, laziness, overextending yourself, being too accessible. You have to be careful, because stress and just the weight and the burden of just like everybody else's problems plus your problems, and or even not necessarily just problems, but just things that you need to do, or things that you have committed to doing for other people, or just you're feeling the stress of it all, that can manifest itself physically. So you can't figure out why you got high blood pressure, baby. It may be because you stressed, because you may be overwhelmed. You may be overextending yourself. You may be overcommitting. You may have allowed people to dictate how your day is going to flow. You can't do that. People die from stress. Y'all know that? I hope y'all do. Like, people die from stress. And on top of that, y'all don't even be getting enough sleep. Because I don't. I know y'all don't, because I don't. Y'all feeling overwhelmed because y'all ain't getting enough sleep. Y'all got too much going on. And you're trying to save and change the world in a day. You can't do it. I had to tell my best friend that this week. Girl, you and I cannot save this world in a day. We can't change it in a day. God didn't even create it in a day. So what make you think that we can get everything that we need to get done for the rest of our lives, for our entire vision of our goals, just the bird's eye view, the bigger picture? What make you think we can get all that done in a day? We can't do it. And so imagine, and that's how I felt this week. I wasn't getting enough sleep, and that's kind of why I was feeling overwhelmed. I just wasn't getting enough sleep. I'm doing prayer and fasting, so I'm having to get up every morning before 6 a.m. And so I'm doing my devotion, my prayer. I am working out, all of this before I even go to work. All of this before I even get to work. And then I'm going to work, and then I'm getting off, and then I'm doing my personal stuff for my personal growth and business, and studying and learning different things. And then I'm still talking on the phone, kikiing with my friends, watching TV, things like that. And it's like, I'm not even going to bed until close to midnight, and I'm getting up before 6 a.m. Baby, I'm tired. That's what it is. I'm just tired. I wasn't getting enough sleep. And so it had become overwhelming for me, because I was trying to get all these things done. I was just worn out. I was just tired. And some of y'all just need to get some sleep. That's really what it is. You're running off fumes. You're running off caffeine, and you're just pushing through. But you're and I'm talking about not like a one night type of thing. Like I miss one night of sleep and this is what's going on. I'm talking about a habitual lack of sleep. Like you're just not well rested repeatedly. You have to set a time and say, okay, nah, I don't care what's done by this time. I'm going to sleep at this time every night, and I'm going to get at least 7 hours of sleep. I say 8, but I really can't. I haven't been able to sleep completely through for 8 hours. I don't know what that's about, but I at least try to strive for 7 instead of 4.5. I'm not gonna be no good to nobody if I'm not rested. So I think all of those things together can manifest itself in you physically. Bags under your eyes, tired, you're not looking beat, you're not ready to go, you stress, high blood pressure, you're eating, overeating, drinking. You have to be careful about those things. People die from strokes and heart attacks and all of that, and sometimes it's just stress. And it's easy to become overwhelmed. Like this is not something that you just like, oh, that's not my issue. Like it can happen. Like I said, this week it came out of nowhere. It can happen to anybody anytime. You just have to be careful, and you have to notice it and be intentional about it and be like, y'all not finna stress me out. It's not gonna happen. So that's the last thing I want to talk about, is just what you can do to kind of be more intentional and not be more intentional about not allowing yourself to become overwhelmed. So the first thing you can do, and that's something that I had to do this week, is start prioritizing your day. Prioritize 3 to 5 things that you are going to get done that day. And those need to be the most important things. Those need to be the most pressing things. So the 3 to 5 things that I do every day now are the things that have to get done that day. Everything else kind of goes in the back burner. I don't forget it. I don't, they're still in the back of my mind, but I'm not trying to do it all in one day. Like I said, we can't save the world in one day. You're not Superman. You're not Superwoman. We're not gods. We're human. We have limits. So you can't do it all in one day. You have to prioritize it. This this means you have to get on a schedule. This means time management. That means getting a little bit more organized. You have to prioritize 3 to 5 of the most important things that you are going to do for that day, each day. That's one way to kind of keep from being overwhelmed. Okay, we got that? So the second thing that you can do is limit the amount of information that you consume. I'm horrible about this. I get information overload quick. And when I do it, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I don't know what I need to do, because it's like, okay, this person said they did this for their business. I need to add this, and do this for my business. Or this person said they did this for their weight loss. I need to start doing this. This person said they did this to make their 7, figures, or make their million before 30. So I need to do this. And sometimes you already got your goals planned out. You already know what you need to do, but you're just consuming so much information, and you're allowing that information to dictate you and to sway you every which way, that now you don't even know what direction you're going in. You don't know what you need to be doing. You don't know what's going to work, what's not going to work. And so you have to be careful about the information that you consume. And this is not even going, that's just one way. That's kind of what I felt this week. But I do also want to talk about the news, because there is so much going on in the world right now. And you have to be careful about, when I say the information that you consume, this includes the news, social media, people's opinions, different things like that. Because sometimes I'll see stuff and I'll be like, okay, that's just low down and evil. And I noticed quickly how that one thing, that tweet that wasn't even directed at me. It wasn't even directed at me. I just allowed it to change my entire mood. Y'all, we have to limit the information that we're consuming. you don't think about it, but and you probably don't think that, okay, this is why I'm just feeling down or just stressed or just I'm just feeling a weight or something. It may seem more of a subconscious thing, but y'all, that's affecting you. I'm telling you, it is. You need to shut down a little bit, like turn the TVs off, close the phone for a minute and just take some time away, or just limit, I'm only going to be on social media for this amount of time. Me, I have to always be on social media because I'm trying to learn, get inspiration, I'm trying to post, but now I stop scrolling so much and it's more of a post and go. Or either I filtered my social media so where I shouldn't see some things. Now some things still creep in and I have to go on a blocking spree. But I've limited the things that I'm allowing myself to consume. So it's similar to like if you got kids and you putting the phones and the TVs on parental control, because you're limiting what the information that your child or your children can consume, and you're doing that for a reason. It's the same thing, y'all. We need to take a step back and be careful about what we're allowing ourselves to see. We can't see and hear, actually. We can't do that. That stuff will cause us to feel overwhelmed. So that's two things. Start prioritizing your day. um stop allowing yourself to consume so much information or become just information overload. And also stop overextending yourself. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but y'all, that's a big one. That's a way for you to not become overwhelmed. Like I said, we got to say no sometimes. We just have to. We have to say no sometimes. Period. I mean, I already talked about this. So I won't spend too much time on that. But I kind of hinted at this one, and I talked about me being tired, but y'all have to take moments for self-care. You have to. You have to get yourself together. So, yes, baby, she has her hair done. She has her nails done. We went and got a pedicure, all of that. I needed that this week. I had to feel refreshed. I needed to take a break, calm myself down and say, no, okay, you're not going to get overwhelmed. You can do this. Everything is going to be okay. Calm down, take a deep breath, go do something nice for yourself, shower yourself with the most beautiful things. Do those things that you enjoy to help you relax. You have to do that. You have to prioritize self-care. You cannot let yourself go down trying to do everything else. Like, no, it's like, we gonna go get cute. We gonna, get some nails and, make sure we still a baddie. We're gonna do all of that, because what happens is when you look good, you feel good. And those things are soothing for me. That may not be your thing, but whatever self-care looks like for you, go do that. Take a minute. Some of y'all need to just go sit in silence and just let your mind rest, and just force your mind just to not think about the things that you got to do for the rest of the week. Just take 5 minutes and to just sit in silence and just to calm yourself down and to just get some clarity. Some of us need to do that. I do it all the time. It's like, one of the things that I do first thing in the morning, I just take a deep breath and I just kind of reassure myself that it's going to be okay. So yeah, make sure we're getting our self-care in. And the last one, and I want to save this one for last because it's something that I still struggle with, and I know that it causes me to be overwhelmed, and I know that it causes me to deal with stress sometimes, and I'm working on it, but I thought it was very important that I mentioned this, and that's stop trying to do everything by yourself. Y'all, we got to stop doing that. We have to delegate where we can. Like I said, I love to be in control. I feel like I don't have to worry about things messing up when they're in control, when I'm in control, or either if they mess up, I don't have nobody to blame but myself, and I can fix it. I'm a fixer. I'm definitely a fixer. So it's hard for me to let other people help me or receive help from other people, because I can just do it myself. I don't have to wait on anybody to do it. That's why My behind is producing and doing everything and running the show myself because y'all, I don't have to wait on anybody to do anything. I can literally just come and do a show and that's that. I don't have to have any guests. I can hold a show by myself. I know how to do it. I took the time and I learned how to do it for that very reason. But it cost me a lot of money and it cost me a lot of time. Even though I gained the experience and I've learned so many things from it, and I reaped the rewards of not having to wait on somebody to produce a show or anything like that. I could just come and do a show like every day if I wanted to, because I know how to do it and I do it by myself. I edit everything by myself. Um, that costs me a lot of time that I really don't have. So I have to be okay with delegating. And like I said, y'all, I'm getting better because I've delegated my social media. I've delegated that. Like I have a digital marketing manager and I'm letting her run the show. And I think a lot of us need to do that, especially in places where we can. Delegate and trust those people that you delegated to. Trust that they know how to get it done. Because that's another thing. You can't, it's hard for you to delegate and then you standing over the person's shoulder and you still want control. And we all know people like this. You know, nobody likes to be micromanaged. Nobody likes that. You have to, give somebody a job and, or either ask somebody for help and trust that they know how to do it and trust that they're going to get it done. And they're going to get it done in a way that is representative of how you would have gotten it done, or even better. Like sometimes we be trying to micromanage people that are experts at what they do. No. So you have to stop trying to do everything by yourself. I'm learning how to bake. That's the thing that I'm learning how to do now. And my first dish that I wanted to learn how to do was my mom's pound cake. And I've watched her do this pound cake a few times, but I've never really paid attention the way that I should. But I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do the pound cake for Thanksgiving. And she told me everything I needed to do to make the pound cake. I knew what steps I needed to follow and everything. And y'all, we were in the kitchen. She had other stuff that she was supposed to be cooking, and she couldn't really even pay attention to that because she was standing over me to ensure that I was baking this pound cake exactly the way that she bakes it. And I was like, okay, girl, like go over there and do the other stuff that you got to do. And I think a lot of us do that. So like we give people tasks to do and then we stand over their shoulder and watch them the whole time or just try to control the situation. And it's like you might as well do it yourself at that point. What you delegated to me for if you just gonna still control it? Save me some time and just do it for both of us. That's how I start feeling. Like, okay, either you gonna bake this cake or I'm gonna bake this cake. So I think we have to be okay with asking for help, but also delegating. We have to delegate and not do everything. We can't have our hands in everything. And so that's kind of the last thing that I wanted to talk about. And I just think that's so important, y'all. I really do. Because I see a lot of them, especially like my independent ladies, and I hate saying that because that it carries so many different inaccurate narratives that I don't agree with. But my boss women, I'll say that's the more accurate term. They have a hard time releasing control and they're always on the go, always something to do, always booked and busy, and never there's never that time to just relax and just work smarter, not harder. That's the goal. So if you got the money and you got the resources or the people around you that's willing to help you, allow them to help you. We ought to be okay with that, and that's me included. So I'm preaching to myself. We have to all be okay with that. But yeah, I think that's all I have for y'all today. I just kind of want to share my week with y'all. I was definitely feeling the pressure of things this week. I was, able to pull myself out of it. And it's just really about me personally, just getting some rest, being a little bit more intentional about self-care, not overcommitting myself, not falling into that procrastination or laziness. I told y'all I'm trying to master being committed and consistent. So I have to really, really be on it, and get help when I need it, and prioritize the things that I need to do every day. I'm just kind of doing a little recap, plan it out, be on a tight schedule, and include rest and self-care on that schedule. That's what y'all got to start doing. But okay, yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. I need y'all to rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. Follow the No Rules Just Vibes page on Instagram. It's No Rules Just Vibes Pod. I need y'all to follow me on Instagram, and so I can interact with y'all there. I like interacting with y'all. So, make sure you spam the comments, ask questions. Like I said, every week we do a live version of each episode on Clubhouse, and that's just a way for me to better connect with y'all. But yeah, check us out. And I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. And I hope y'all have a great week. I hope y'all had a great week. Hopefully y'all are not feeling overwhelmed like I am. So somebody gotta be all right. But okay, I feel like I'm just rambling now. I will talk to y'all next week. And yeah, I love y'all, and thank y'all so much for tuning in.